haunted by what happened on Halloween.
It can't go unsolved. It's too small of a community.
A murder victim's girlfriend shares her search for answers on a roadside near Enumclaw. A teen girl choked under a tree outside her high school.
There's Dad. There's the daughter underneath Dad.
Her parents are charged with attempted murder as we learn the possible motive.
No grapple, no, gotta grapple.
A crime-fighting tool that's fit for the Batmobile, but it's put to use by local deputies. How the Grappler is giving them a new advantage to catch fleeing suspects. Tonight in the Spotlight.
The Spotlight brought to you by Beacon Plumbing.
Banners asking for the public's help to solve a homicide now mark the scene of the murder along State Route 410 near Enumclaw. Troopers say 52-year-old Hans Hansen was found shot to death near his vehicle parked in the pullout here on Halloween. 410 is a busy stretch of road that runs up to Greenwater. Troopers are hoping someone has dash cam video showing the killer or their car. So good evening, I'm David Rose, and thank you for joining us tonight for the Spotlight. Those banners were made by Hansen's girlfriend. Because of the condition of his body, she says his sons were not able to see their dad's face or even hold his hand to say goodbye. She's determined to do everything she can to help troopers catch his killer.
It's just hard.
Erica Gilson was sitting on the gravel in the pullout area near mile marker 29 along State Route 410 when we met. It was cold and wet. The weather a reflection of her grief and warring emotions.
Confusion and anger.
Her story with Hans Hansen begins when they met in high school in Montana. They both lost a close friend who died in a car accident. After graduation, Hans moved to Pennsylvania, got married, and had 4 kids.
He was teaching law. He had a PhD in law and criminal justice, and he was a professor there. And I was happy to know that he was happy.
In 2022, they reconnected through classmates.com. Both had recently gone through a divorce.
Like two broken people, and the pieces just fit together because we understood the pain that the other one still carried.
Within weeks, Hans moved here, started helping her with her business. And when her sister got cancer and she needed to be in Seattle, he took care of their home. He left Erica this voicemail one night after driving to Seattle to bring her her favorite pillow.
Hey baby, I love you. I'd do that anytime. Sweet dreams. Good night.
She says Hans had no enemies, never did drugs, and didn't even really know anyone here. And as these photos show, had a great sense of humor.
It was just absolutely hilarious.
That's why his murder has been so hard to comprehend.
So I was looking for one of his coats to give his sons, and I couldn't find it. And then I remembered that we were driving through Seattle one day, and he stopped the car and ran out and put his coat over a homeless guy. He just did that stuff.
She's wearing his clothes now. It's the 4th time she's been back here since detectives knocked on her door.
Walking through the grass and stepping on the rocks and just looking for something that's going to be an answer. But then even if you get the answer, he's still gone, so.
Erica believes Hans may have parked here to walk the old logging trails or just to rest. Troopers aren't saying much, but have confirmed that they believe Hans was an innocent victim in the wrong place at the wrong time. Erica says he would have defended himself.
He was a Viking. He was a 100% Viking. And
A big guy, so he probably would have
guy,
defended
yeah.
himself if somebody came after him.
Absolutely. He was 6'4" and just strapping.
She's hoping her banners and her words motivate someone to come forward.
It can't go unsolved. It's too small of a community. And there's a very good chance that person lives here, so you'd think people would want to talk and get this person out of their community.
So if you have any information on a suspect or dash cam video along State Route 410 from October 28th to the 31st, you can upload it to the Washington State Patrol by using this QR code. You can also submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound through the P3 Tips app on your cell phone. They're offering a $1,000 cash reward. Deputies in Thurston County have a new tool to help bring vehicle pursuits to an end, and it's called the Grappler. And we're getting a look at this device in action. First, let's show you a demonstration of how it works. It's mounted on the front of a patrol vehicle and deploys a net to wrap around the suspect's tire, quickly bringing the car to a stop. Now check out this dash cam video of Thurston County Sheriff's deputies using the Grappler in a real chase.
No grapple, no. Gotta grapple, gotta grapple, gotta grapple. Get your hands up now! You're gonna get bit!
Deputies were trying to pull over a stolen car when the driver took off at high speeds. After deploying the Grappler, the car hit a chain link fence. The driver took off running, but finally stopped when he saw that a canine was closing in. Deputies say he had a gun and meth in the vehicle and a warrant for felony assault. Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders says almost every patrol car in the department now has a Grappler.
We're going to use these Grappler tools. We're going to use these pit maneuvers, all these different tactics to get these individuals stopped as soon as possible. In my opinion, it can be a safer tool than a pit. I mean, we've seen other agencies where they're taking high-speed pits and then they go off and spin out and crash and things like that. This tool doesn't do that at all. So it gives us another ability to hopefully stop a vehicle, keep them attached to our vehicle. And if they decide to run on foot, then we have dogs to chase you.
Thurston County Sheriff's Office is one of the first agencies in our state to utilize the Grappler. It was invented by a man in Arizona, Leonard Stock, and he recently flew up to Washington to help install the devices. Stock says he created the Grappler in his garage, and now he's having a hard time meeting demand nationwide. The search for a hit-and-run driver in Seattle that hit a man visiting for the UW-USC game. A warning, the photos of his injuries are graphic, but it's important to show you to demonstrate how much pain that victim is in.
Surveillance video from November 1st shows the dark green Dodge Neon hit the man at the intersection on 1st Avenue, then briefly stop as another pedestrian yells and points at the victim. You can see the victim looking down at his leg in shock. He told police the man who hit him got out of the car and started yelling at him in Spanish, then got back into the vehicle and drove off. A different camera angle shows the hit-and-run driver going into oncoming traffic, cutting across the opposite lane to turn left to get away. The vehicle's trunk appeared to be held together with a bungee cord. No license plate number could be seen. Instead of going to their planned sailgate and then the UW game, the victim was taken to the hospital for emergency surgery. Here's a look at the injuries to his leg. Doctors say he almost lost his foot. Seattle police say they're trying to find the Dodge Neon and identify the driver. If you have any information, you can call the SPD tip line at 206-233-5000 or submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound. You can text photos and information through the P3 Tips app that you can download to your cell phone for free. Crime Stoppers is offering a cash reward of up to $1,000 for any information that leads to this driver's arrest.
What did I do, sir? Huh?
You're under arrest.
For what?
We'll explain that in a minute.
What did I do?
What didn't you do? Renton police arrested this prolific truck thief, and it was all caught on body camera. Officers say Kurt Cox was driving a stolen truck, and they found a stolen handgun on him. Detectives say Cox was identified thanks to your tips to Crime Stoppers after we aired this video. A witness caught him on camera using a screwdriver to steal a truck. Tonight, Cox is being held on $115,000 bail. A shocking attack outside Timberline High School in Lacey. A father and mother accused of trying to kill their teenage daughter in what the victim described as a possible honor killing. Prosecutors say the Timberline student was attacked by her parents outside of school after she tried to escape the family. Her boyfriend stepped in to help and was also assaulted. Spotlight's Jennifer Dowling spoke with that boyfriend's father.
There's dad. There's the daughter underneath dad.
Victor Barnes says this troubling video captured by witnesses and under investigation by Lacey police shows Ihsan Ali choking his teen daughter from behind, her face shoved in the dirt.
That's my son fighting for the girl's life.
Court documents state she reported abuse by both Ihsan and her mother, Zara, saying she ran away to get help from her teachers and staff at Timberline, telling investigators her parents had also planned to forcefully send her to Iraq to marry an older man.
Earlier that day, she was supposed to be flown out the country. She ran to the school because she was afraid.
Barnes said her parents were looking for her, and upon seeing her, the dad rushed out of a vehicle and yelled at her in Arabic. A different student who understood their language told him to leave.
And the kid says something of the nature of, she doesn't want to go back with you, leave her alone. Dad snapped.
A witness told investigators Ihsan started hitting his daughter and then he punched Barnes' son, who went flying onto the concrete. Then Ihsan started choking his daughter for what the witness estimated was about a minute, while multiple people tried to pry Ihsan off of her.
Her arms go limp. She's no longer moving. he starts to see her eyes just roll back and her arms sort of start flailing. And that's when he sort of sprung into action because he didn't want to see, you know, someone he cared about pass away.
After she was dragged out of the headlock, her mother, Zara, was accused of attacking her.
My son was able to just grab her and just take her away from mom.
They ran into Timberline for help.
And mother came rushing to the school, trying to get into school, but, you know, she got stopped by security.
Barnes feels an adult should have escorted her to the bus.
And I'm glad he was there to save her life. But I just need just a little more explanation or answers as to why were the adults so careless.
He says his son and the girl didn't deserve trauma at the hands of adults.
High school for me is a time I will never forget. It was probably some of the 4 funnest years of my life. And it's unfortunate that, you know, he would have to experience something like this in high school.
For the Spotlight, I'm Jennifer Dowling.
Barnes says he took out a restraining order on the girl's parents, not only because they assaulted his son, but also because the mother kept showing up at his house prior to the assault looking for her daughter. Those parents are being charged with attempted murder, attempted kidnapping, and assault. Kitsap County Sheriff's detectives and Crime Stoppers are sharing this reward flyer, asking for tips as they try to identify the gunman who shot and killed a mother of 5 in her own home last year. It happened just west of Bremerton. Carolyn Williams was sitting with her husband on the couch watching TV when those suspects opened fire while their children were asleep in their beds. She was shot in the head and died at the scene. Fortunately, her kids were not hurt. Well, now detectives are sharing new surveillance video to try to generate some new leads.
So this video is from the fire station. Right here you have the school, and down this long driveway is going to be our victim's residence.
Carolyn Williams and her family live next to Crosspoint Academy. Video shows the killers arriving in a dark car before turning on their blinker and parking.
So here's our 2 suspects. From this video is how we're able to determine that we have 2 shooters in this case. You can see the silhouette of both suspects as they walk in front of the school where they're kind of backlit.
A neighbor pulled out, causing the suspects to delay for a moment in order to avoid looking suspicious. Then Detective Tim Flint says the suspects walked down the driveway and started shooting into the home before taking off.
So we have 2 clips of the suspects running. The first one, you'll see one person kind of out in front in that same area in front of the school, leaving back in the direction of the car, and a short while after that will be the second suspect running in front of the school.
A motion-activated camera at the school got a quick look at them running south on Chico Way. When they got back to their car, they drove back northbound the way they came. Detectives don't know the make or model of their vehicle yet, but are hoping someone watching can help.
Think those suspects are from Kitsap County or maybe somewhere like Pierce County?
We think they are either from Kitsap or have strong local ties to the Kitsap area.
The Williams have since moved out. Carolyn's husband says he relives what happened over and over again.
I don't ask you, I beg of you, if you know anything, to please say something.
Detective Flint says the suspects knew exactly where they were going, and he believes it was not a random act of violence.
This is still very active. We're interviewing people almost every week to try and generate leads and tips, and we've been successful in a lot of areas in that way, but we still need more information, and we believe people in the public do have some information that could help us.
No lead is too small. So if you have any information, please submit a tip to Crime Stoppers by texting the information. You can do it through the P3 Tips app. You can download that to your cell phone for free. You can call 1-800-222-TIPS. Crime Stoppers offering a cash reward of $1,000, and you will never be asked to give your name. Now to an emotional message inside a courtroom from the aunt of a toddler killed in a crash in Maple Valley. She told Judge Johanna Bender her family wants justice for 21-month-old Alton, and they wanted the court to allow the media to show the accused driver's face.
I think having attention to the fact that a baby was killed because he made some very, very poor decisions, I think is important. Most people that murder babies, whether they do it on purpose or not, or anybody else that murders someone, their faces are shown, and usually the day that it happens. He was released within just a few days of it happening, and I think it's really important that he's treated like everybody else who murders somebody or commits homicide, whether intentionally or unintentionally.
The court has the authority to limit that contact or that filming only when necessary to preserve the substantial trial rights of any party. I am satisfied today that there is a genuine safety concern here and that it is necessary to limit the press access to today's hearing in order to preserve the safety of Mr. Lozano and his family, and therefore his ability to participate fully later in trial.
So once again, Judge Bender is more concerned for the suspect than the victim. She did not allow our cameras to show his pain, his face. She did acknowledge pain on both sides of the case. This is making my head pop off. The 19-year-old showed up with multiple family members in support and pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors say Lozano was speeding in the rain when his vehicle crossed over the median into oncoming traffic, sideswiping the victim's car. Alton died from his injuries at the scene. His mom suffered multiple broken bones and fractures. There's the photo Judge Bender should be more concerned about, that little casket being lowered into the ground. Lozano was charged with vehicular homicide and vehicular assault. He posted $150,000 bail 2 days after his arrest. He's free. He's out on the street and safe. Judge Bender approved adding electronic home monitoring as a condition of his release. A local family business trying to bounce back after a crucial part of their operation was stolen. Lovely and Dapper Desserts sells small personal cakes at farmers markets, festivals, and catered events. Earlier this year, they bought an SUV so they could transport their supplies and expand their business. As the Spotlight's Jennifer Dowling reports, that SUV was stolen right out of their driveway in West Seattle, just ahead of the busy holiday season.
We've always wanted to own a bakery together since we met.
Emily and Drew Crane run a mobile cake shop called Lovely and Dapper Desserts out of their West Seattle home.
We decided to take the leap to start our business.
They specialize in portable treats based on a design Drew first created years ago while working in a local restaurant.
We just kind of took the same idea and figured out a clever way to package it.
They're called tin can cakes.
Tin can cakes.
Yeah.
In April, they purchased this 2006 Tahoe to help them transport even more cake to local markets.
It was the first one that we bought together.
Yeah.
So it was pretty exciting, and it really did help us grow and expand.
The SUV was the bread and butter of the business.
We really miss that vehicle. It was everything to us.
The Crane said it disappeared from their neighborhood near Westwood Village October 26th.
It's just scary and discouraging that it could get stolen right out of our driveway. We took all the precautions, we locked it, we put the steering wheel lock on and everything.
A tent and other items belonging to the kids were also taken.
I don't like that the trucks got stolen because there was a TV and my car seat was in there.
Definitely discouraging. But, we're not going to let it stop us.
To raise more dough for a new truck, the Crane started an online fundraiser.
We feel so grateful for all the love and support we've already received.
With hopes of a sweeter ending to a weeks-long nightmare.
We're just trying to, be as positive as we can and move on and just focus on all the love and support that we've already gotten from all of our friends, family, and the small business community.
For the Spotlight, I'm Jennifer Dowling.
Their online fundraiser has brought in more than $4,000, but that's not enough for a new SUV. If you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the online version of this story. Just go to fox13seattle.com and search for Stolen Bakery Truck. Terrifying moments for a man trapped inside a burning car following a crash in Newcastle. First responders worked quickly to pull him to safety, and their heroic efforts were caught on body cam. Spotlight's A.J. Janavel spoke with the man trapped inside that car, who's now recovering from injuries that include 6 broken ribs and third-degree burns.
We need more fire extinguishers.
Created me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me.
Is this it?
Do not cast me from your presence or take your Holy Spirit from me. Restore to me the joy of your salvation and grant me a willing spirit to sustain me.
Jacob Shook considers it a miracle he's sitting here today.
I remember driving and starting to fall asleep and feeling the
Shook left work feeling sick. The next thing he remembers is waking up in the hospital. Shook tells Fox 13 News he fell asleep behind the wheel and crashed his car. King County Sheriff body-worn camera reveals a nightmare Shook doesn't remember living.
I'm so thankful, from the video that I watched, I saw that even just the civilians around were trying to help. Yes, I'm a person, but I'm not nobody that important.
The car is still on fire.
The shocking video shows the urgency and desperation as deputies try to rescue Shook. Law enforcement work to cut him out of his seatbelt and pry the car doors open as the flames grow.
My interaction with law enforcement and stuff like that has always been a negative experience. So to see the other side of them, the way that they put their safety on the line to save me and to get me out of that burning car, I just want to tell them thank you.
Shook just celebrated his birthday in the hospital, and he has at least another month in this room ahead of him. A hard fate to face, but he says it's his faith that's helping him through the pain and uncertainty.
Once I fully believe that the Lord has my best interest at heart and has taken a hand in everything that's going on, then I don't need to be anxious about these injuries or why they happened or what's going to happen.
For the Spotlight, I'm AJ Janavel.
A man and his dog narrowly escape a flaming car in Kitsap County. The driver completely unaware of the danger until a deputy saw the smoke and flames and pulled him over.
All I saw was a big fire underneath as you were driving down the road.
As soon as I saw your lights, I pulled over, and then I immediately, the thing started, I could smell the smoke.
Thanks to the traffic stop, the driver was able to get his dog Tess out of the back seat just moments before the car was engulfed in flames. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight on The Spotlight. Until next time, I'm David Rose. Stay safe.